What's up everyone, welcome to this POV review by AutoTopNL. My name is Max and today I'll be taking you around the all-new BMW M5 F90. And to see how far they came, to see what has changed, we decided to also take an M5 of the last generation. But we couldn't get an M5. This M6 Grand Coupe with competition package was the only thing we could get on such short notice. So we decided to take it anyway, and well, we're going to take that into account that this is an M6 and it has a competition package. But it does have the old 4.4 liter V8 bi-turbo. This has the same engine with a couple of new turbos and a higher pressure fuel injection system and a new exhaust. So this used to deliver 560 horsepower. But because it's the competition pack, it has 600 horsepower. This one, 600 horsepower. 700 newton meters, 750 newton meters. And, well, let's start with the M5, because I really like the look of the new 5 Series, the G30. And I think this M5 suits the car very well. Although this is a first edition, so that means that you get that frozen dark red color, black wheels, black everything, sport exhaust, light interior. And it does kind of remind me, you also get carbon ceramics, but it does remind me of that old M5 competition we drove like 2 years ago, which was frozen red. And it was a bit lighter than this one, but it just keeps reminding me of that car, and that means that I sort of feel like it looks a bit the same. But okay, let's open both bonnets. Alrighty, so this is the old one and the new one. Sort of looks exactly the same, apart from this new carbon fiber cover. This also has an aluminium bonnet, aluminium front wings, and a carbon fiber roof as well. But the M6 also has a carbon fiber roof, but the M5 didn't have that. So black wheels, as I said, ceramic brakes, which shave 23 kilos of the unsprung weight. So always get the ceramic brakes, especially with a car this fast, because the M6 doesn't have them, and I can tell you, you really want them. So the rear, we have the sport exhaust with black tips, little spoiler on the boot lid. Man, I love this M6 Grand Coupe. Look at it. Beautiful. Okay, so we will drive this M6 first down this road, just to see what it was like. And then we'll drive this one down this road, and then tomorrow we'll be taking both of them to the Autobahn, and again start with that one and then move over to the M5. Let's start it up. So we know that BMW has had a lot of trouble to get a lot of sound from this engine, and well, it's not that great sounding, I think. It sounds very sort of racy, but not a lot of sound. Okay. MDCT, of course, dual clutch gearbox, really jerky at lower speeds, but really fast when you step on it. So, rear wheel drive, of course, immediately noticeable. Ooh, that gearbox is really fast. Okay, so bear in mind that everything I say about the handling of this car is about this one I'm driving right now. So with the competition package, which has a reworked M differential, stiffer suspension, fatter stabilizers, stuff like that. But having said that, I think that a new version of an M car should always be better than the best version of the last one. And I think that this M6 Grand Coupe competition is the best version of the previous M5, M6 lineup. So I'm going to compare it with this. If you don't agree with that, I'm sorry. Alrighty, so we are going to do a little lap around here and then come back and drive the M5. So I'm in Mdm mode right now, which means it allows a little play, but still the traction control kicks in and cuts the power quite fiercely, and I don't really like that. I think that to be able to get in sort of a flow with the car, you need a bit more freedom than Mdm mode. You can also turn it off altogether, which, let's just switch it off. Okay, completely off now. But you will see that this thing will go through a set of rear tires in no time. So let's just select first gear, rolling 50 kilometers an hour. Okay, so that was just a little test. It is quite hot out, so the road is hot enough for this car to grip. Woo! Yeah, it is cool. Okay, standing start. Just flooring it. Yeah, so a lot of wheel spin. It has some trouble getting the power down, but other than that, I mean, handling is really great. Front end is super sharp, turn in is great, gearbox is lovely. When you drive it like this, it's really good. We also have it in its most firm setting, so you have 3 settings for ferociousness of shifting, and well, I always go for the hardest setting if I'm, you know, driving like this. I also quite like the shifting pedals. They are really close to your fingers, so if I'm just holding the steering wheel like this, they're very close, and they are really nicely shaped. Your fingers really fall into the shape, so to speak. So that's really great. Seat is great, seating position is great. I'm sitting really low. Seats are very supportive as well. So everything that you need to have a great driving experience is just a-okay with this one. To be honest, I mean, this car is so quick, 4.2 seconds to 100 kilometers an hour. That's only because it has massive traction issues off the line. You can also use launch control, but it means that you're spinning your tires all through first, second and third gear. So yeah, that's the biggest issue this car has, traction. It drives really well once you get going. It is really fast, but traction is a big issue, and on a day like this, that's not a problem. But if you live in a place where you have like 8 months of winter or a lot of rain or whatever, I mean, we have a lot of rain here, this car becomes practically unusable. And that's why, with that one, BMW decided to go for an X-Drive system. And it is a very smart system as well. So, let's get out and we'll switch to the new one. Keys are inside. So, with this new one, as I said, M5 first edition, one of 400. So it's a limited edition. And speaking of limited editions, have you seen our watch yet? This is our new one. It's called the Turismo, limited to 50 pieces. And well, if you want one or you want more information, go to ignitioncollection.com. It's sort of our merchandise. So instead of selling hats and t-shirts and stuff like that, you can buy a watch to support us and have something cool as well. And we're going to do something like an event as well for owners of these watches. So if you want one, ignitioncollection.com. The new one, interior wise, my God, what a difference. That one, it looks good. It's also the spec, black on black on black on black. It's really boring. This one, light interior, beautiful, black leather on top with red stitching, M stitching on the steering wheel, M striping on the seat belts. These seats look incredible. I mean, my God, they are heavily bolstered with an M5 logo that lights up. It just looks awesome. But I am sitting a bit too high. Seating position is not ideal. Yeah, I can't go any lower. And I don't really like that. Everything else though in here is really, really great. Steering wheel, really nice, really thick. 2 buttons right here, which look incredible. New shifter, everything looks new and feels new. So that's a good thing. Let's start it up. Okay, and we'll go to M1, which puts the engine and the drivetrain in Sport Plus. Okay, that doesn't sound that impressive. I mean, it sounds good, but I should also be able to get some crackles. There they are. Okay, so let's go to drive. Let me just talk to you about the setup. So in that car you can also do this, but they added a new button right here, setup. So you go to this M setup menu and you can configure these 2 buttons. Okay, so this is what we can adjust. We can adjust the traction control, the MX drive, so that means you can go from 4-wheel drive sport to 2-wheel drive. And you can see these arrows right here. So 4-wheel drive is all 4 wheels, obviously. 4-wheel drive sport is more rear wheel than front wheel, and 2-wheel drive is just rear wheel drive. And this system is rear wheel drive biased. So even if you have it in 4-wheel drive mode, it still should act and should respond like a rear wheel drive car. You can do the engine, the suspension, the steering rack, transmission, and the head-up display. Okay, so this is my M1 configuration. DSC completely off. 4-wheel drive sport, Sport Plus, Sport, Sport. This should be a Sport Plus. Yeah, okay. M2 is everything in Sport Plus again, with 2-wheel drive and DSC off. So the cool thing is that you can, on a day like this, you can completely switch off the DSC system. And I will demonstrate to you why that is. I'm now in 4-wheel drive sport mode. Okay. Going to floor it right here. And that means, I don't know if you could see that. I think you can. That four-wheel drive sport with DSC off means that you can really easily break traction at the rear. The rear comes out and then the front wheels start grabbing the tarmac and just start propelling you forward. It's just an insane experience, and it does take some getting used to, because you have to judge your slide or your corner differently, because it is going to sort of crab its way forward, and that's really great, because as I said, that Mdm mode in the M6 Grand Coupe is just way too nanny-like. It's just, it allows a little bit of slip, and then it really cuts off the power and you hit a wall. Of course, not a literal wall, but figuratively speaking, you hit a wall, and that's really annoying. With this car, you can just completely switch it off and let the front wheels sort of save you, or yeah, let you be able to slide without it getting ridiculous, if that makes any sense. That's something I really love about this car. So I'm in Sport Plus right now for the suspension as well, and that means that this is at firmest setting. Now, normally I don't really do this, but with this car I'm going to try to demonstrate that Sport Plus is still not that Sport Plusy. There is still a lot of movement, and I think an M5 in Sport Plus should be more firm, more harder, and yeah. Oh, but it is incredibly fast. It's insanely fast. The way this car gains speed and just devours the tarmac is ridiculous. It is ludicrous how quick this car is. 2 tons almost, 1850 kilos. It's about 15 to 30 kilos lighter than the predecessor M5, even though it has an X-Drive system added to it. So they have done some clever stuff, among which this carbon fiber roof, of course. But I do feel like the suspension could have been a bit firmer, a bit harder, especially in Sport Plus. Don't even get me started in comfort, because in comfort it's just as comfortable as a 540i with an M Sport package. So I understand why they did it. They wanted more daily usability. They wanted a more all-round car, all-weather, whatever. I get it. The M5, the previous M5 or that M6 is unusable in the rain. This one isn't. I get it, but I'm just a bit sad about it. Okay, let's switch to M2, rear-wheel drive only. Yeah. Shifting down a couple of times. Little corner right here. Okay. So, it allows just everything you want. This is something I do really like, and we've seen it in the Mercedes-AMG E63S with that 4MATIC Plus system. BMW has done the same thing, and it's amazing. It just feels a bit distant. You know, I'm doing a little burnout there, and it just feels a bit disconnected. It's like they decided that surrendering 10% of sharpness, of edge, was okay if that meant that it became 40 or 50% more comfortable. And that sort of means that scary edge that the M5 had is lost. And I know that they are going to sell more cars because of that. So yeah, that's the difficult part about this. But it isn't as crazy anymore, and I think that's really that's too bad. but still it is ridiculously fast. It's an incredible car. I do feel like the pedals, or the shifter pedals, are a bit too far away. That's why I said in the M6 they are really close to my fingers. In this it's a bit too far, and it's things like that that just make me think that they thought, well, okay, yeah, maybe if you drive on a track or on a road like this, the pedals would have been nicer like they were in the old one, but it's more comfortable like this if you don't use them, because they're farther away. So that's the struggle I'm having with this car. It is ridiculously fast. It's a really good car. It's much better than before for driving every day. It's as fast around the track as a Ferrari 458 around the Nürburgring, 7 minutes 39 seconds, I believe. So it is a very capable car. It's just, maybe it's too capable. Maybe the old M5 wasn't that capable because it had that edge, because it was a bit too crazy. And yeah, this isn't. So let's take it home, and then tomorrow we'll be taking it to the Autobahn. Alrighty, let's take the M6 Grand Coupe out first. There's the Autobahn. Let's just get the performance meter on, and we will go for M1, which is everything in Sport Plus except for the steering wheel, which is in comfort, and Mdm Mode for the traction control. And well, this is sort of a baseline test just to check, to remind ourselves what this car is like, how it drives, and of course especially to see how much has changed in the new one, Autobahn wise. It is quite busy, so I'm just going to go right now. Okay, a lot of wheel spin, a lot of artificial sound coming through the speakers, but it is really fast. Even by new M5 standards, this is really fast. Of course, 600 horsepower, that's just as much as the new M5. Alrighty, let's go. 200 kilometers an hour. Suspension is in Sport Plus. I'm going to change that to Comfort. It's a bit more comfortable, obviously. I mean, but still, this is so quick. 280 already, 287, 290, and that's 295. No ceramic brakes, which I don't understand. I mean, I think every car with competition pack and driver's package should have ceramic brakes. But okay. Driving wise, we know that this is quick. We've driven it before on the Autobahn. I actually did a run, I think about 2 years ago, and I topped out at 313 kilometers an hour, which is insane. MDCT, of course, compared to the new M5s. ZF 8-speed automatic gearbox, which just, I mean, I really like the feel of this car, especially when you're driving fast. A lot of grip actually, huge rear tires, and this feels really sharp and on edge, and that's how I think a BMW M should feel. A little bit of play in Mdm mode. Don't really like the feel of those brakes. When they get hot, they do start to fade a bit. but the turn-in is great. Oh man. I just love the little tap you get through the drivetrain at every upshift. Okay, there we go again. No, we're not going again. Now we are. Yep. But I have to say, when you drive this now, it's not like this car feels old or anything. It just feels like a proper BMW M with proper BMW M dials. Just analog dials with those orangey reddish hands, which, yeah, I really like that. Sound wise, I don't know, you do really hear that it's artificial coming in here. I know the exhaust gives a big bang sometimes, but the exhaust sound itself doesn't really come through the cabin. That's 300 already. Man, this thing is quick. Braking, yep, that's what I thought. No, oh, that's very nice, thank you. Turning around here, and let's go get that new M5. This is more like an Autobahn seating position, really. It's a bit higher, it's like regal, you can see everything really well. Okay, M1, which means Sport Plus for everything except steering in sport, traction control all the way off. That means I have launch control, full throttle, launch control. Oh man! Ooh, that's quick! That is quick. That's 200 already. Okay, when you get immediately in the new one after driving the old one, you do notice that this is quicker. Or it feels quicker at least. So that's already 290. Shifting 304 kilometers an hour. Ceramic brakes, oh, they are really, really good. Okay, I can now already tell you what the biggest difference is. This is much more comfortable. The suspension is softer. The gear shifts are less aggressive. You don't get that hit through the drivetrain from that ZF gearbox. Let's get the performance meters here. There and there. But because this has also 600 horsepower, but it has 750 newton meters, 50 more than that old engine. This feels much more beefy and meaty, and you have that shove of torque, which you don't. Yeah, you also get that in the old one, but this is noticeably stronger. Oh man, you also get a bit more sound through the exhaust in this, and a bit less artificial sound through the speakers, or maybe a bit different. It's a bit lower, more baritone than in the M6, which sort of howls and has this weird UFO takeoff sound, which I still don't really like. Little burble on the exhaust as well. And when we switch to M2, that means that we go into two-wheel drive and traction control off. So that means we can do this. M6 is also better than this one. In the old one you could really shift at, let's say, 6,500 RPM and you would be spot on. In this one it's a bit more difficult to see. But the way this thing gains speed... Okay, what are we doing here? Thank you. I mean, this is just insane. It does feel quicker than the old one. It really does. It rides much more smoothly as well. Oh man. Every time you shift, you get that surge of torque. Oh man, that's nice. So the biggest difference between the old M6 Grand Coupe and the new M5 is that this car feels much more complete. It's more versatile and it does kind of miss that M edge, that sharp edge, that little bit of danger that you get. Yes, it is way quicker off the line. Yes, it will be faster around the track, undoubtedly. Yes, it's faster here. Although the top speed of that M6 is 313 and this only does 307. But it does kind of miss that edge, and I also miss some sound, I'm going to say it. This sounds much better than the old one. It has a much more raw sound. You get some burble from the exhaust, you get a big crackle on the upshift. Which is nice. But I still feel like they could have done more, especially when you have to compete with a Mercedes-AMG E63S, which sounds insane, which just sounds incredible. And yeah, I really would have liked a bit more sound in this one. I do think that a lot of people are going to be very happy with this car because it is so versatile, because you can use it every day in the rain, whenever you want. But we want that edge back. So new BMW M5 Competition, 625 horsepower. I think it has a different exhaust as well. Stiffer suspension. I think I really want to drive that. So stay tuned for that one. I don't know how long it's going to be, but thank you very much for watching. You can check out this POV review right here, and you can check out this POV reviews playlist if you want to see more, and you can subscribe by clicking on the big button right here. Thanks so much for watching. See you at the next one. Bye.